Hello, this is DisturbingPuppet back again with some more Mordheim. So yeah, lately I've been kind of stuck on this game, playing quite a bit, so I figured, well, why not stream it since I'm playing? So I streamed some yesterday, and I did do a mission between then and now, so it's not a direct follow-up. I'm just kind of doing this sporadically. I have some other games I might be doing in the near future, but for right now I'm kind of stuck on this, and for a game that you're sort of doing missions and leveling guys up, it's kind of easier for me to keep track of one at a time. So if I'm playing this, I'll keep playing this. When I'm done with this, I don't know. I've got a lot of things I want to play. Lots of things sitting there waiting for me to play them, so we'll see what happens. So we're just going to be continuing. People who don't know, Mordheim is the PC version of an old Games Workshop board game. I never did actually play the board game. I was into a lot of other Games Workshop stuff, but me and my group never really got into Mordheim. Kind of like Necromunda, which we played a lot of, but a fantasy setting. The computer game version is pretty hardcore. Everything is sort of in Iron Man mode automatically. There's no way to change that, so it saves every turn. Guys die. Tough. I started off really getting beat up pretty bad, ended up changing my name to the Unlucky Few, and then since then things have actually gone quite a bit better. I felt like I was getting pretty ahead of the curve on things, doing pretty well. Then you had a really tough mission, but part of it I think is I keep running into really tough missions against the undead. Everybody else I can handle pretty well. Makes me think the undead are a little OP. I don't know if that's the general consensus or not. I haven't really kind of looked to check, but it definitely seems that way to me. It could be my tactics and the way I'm handling things as well. I keep having higher level guys get killed, even if only one or two guys gets taken out. He kind of does an injury roll at the end of the mission. And yeah, if I've got a high-level guy who goes down, they're pretty much dead. Kind of seems to be the way it's going. So right now I'm leveling up a bunch of lower-level people. These are kind of my overall stats here. So you can see we've got 91 days active, success ratio 94%, 736% ratio, so over 7 to 1 for my taking people out for my losses. But I seem to be just barely holding on compared to a lot of the other warbands that I'm running into that are much tougher than I am. I'm actually having trouble when I'm getting into missions in that I have such a low rating compared to everybody else that I'm at a huge disadvantage for any mission I might want to do. Let me just check the stream here real quick. Okay, seems fine. I've been having kind of weird issues with Twitch, but it still streams. It's just sometimes I can't see what's going on. Alright, we'll take a look at things. So in the upper right-hand corner, there's a bunch of numbers and stuff here. The main part of this game is you're sort of working for a sponsor who's sending you into a destroyed city to collect Wordstone, which is sort of congealed, magical, chaotic essence, which is the main way you're making money, is selling extra stuff. But occasionally your sponsor is going to demand a certain amount at different times. You can see there it says 9 days left, so I actually have a demand from my sponsor right now for 330 some Wordstone. The number next to some little pieces, the first one says 15, so that's individual pieces. The kind of crystal looking piece next to it, 34, those are worth 5 each, and then the clusters, which are the things on the end, are actually worth 15 each. So my total amount of Wordstone I have is 650. So I've been kind of stockpiling and selling off a little bit of extra just so I have an advantage for when I get a request. Typically, you have a certain amount of time once you get the request to get the amount together to send off to your sponsor. So far, I've made all the requests without too much trouble, but I've been able to kind of stockpile ahead of time. And then the last thing there is gold. So right now I'm doing fairly well in gold, but I'm getting to the point where skills and skilled persons, if I want to pick them up, are insanely expensive. The higher level skills, 300-400 per guy, per skill. And if I want to get even a mid-level person, it's over 1,000 gold for a lot of the better people. So money has always been an issue in this game and continues to be an issue in this game for me. I'm not an expert in this game by any stretch of the imagination. I basically just did the tutorials and kind of jumped in with the recommended group, which was the Mercenaries, so that's kind of what I'm going with. Kind of have things, I think, relatively set up for the next mission here. Could change things around a little bit. So what I've got is my leader, who's highlighted here. Basically really good at dealing with close combat, parrying attacks, and doing counterattacks. I have pistols with him for a little bit of range shooting before we get into melee with him. I'm planning on taking out my magic user, who I picked up at level 3 for, it was like 1,200 gold or something, just to get someone at level 3. 10 is your max. So quite expensive to pick up people with any skills, and he's pretty useless. I've used him in one mission, and he almost got killed. And he did basically nothing in the mission. He's so weak that almost anyone I run into is going to kill him in combat. So trying to keep him at distance and cast a few spells. And spells in this game are sort of inconsistent and have a good chance to have something horrible backfire and kill you. So I really kind of resisted for a long time picking up a magic user, but now I've got one. I'll play around with him a little bit, see how it goes. Got my Youngblood. This was my lower level one when my level 10 died, and now he's sort of having to step up, trying to get him up to level 10 and maxed out. Mostly using him for range stuff. He's got decent melee capability as well. Champions. My oldest champion here, level 8. He's missing a leg, so he's a little slow. I did pick a skill that adjusted for that. The armor proficient made up for him wearing heavy armor, some of the movement. Got another one at level 6 that I'm kind of leveling up here. A level 10 rifleman, level 7 archer that I've been working up for a long time. I've had him, geez, a long time. He's been taken out a lot, but he almost always gets an injury result of, yeah, you're fine, no problem. Level 3 warrior. I think I got him at level 3, so he's almost up to level 4. Level 6 and a level 10. I've got a spare level 10. This is sort of my extra guys over here. So the book here shows that they're training and how many days they're going to be training. So I have an ogre who's training, I've got a youngblood who's training, warrior who's training. This mark means that they have skill points available. So you can see I have lots of guys with skill points available. I've been thinking about just maybe taking 3 or 4 days off of doing any missions at all just to train a bunch of people, but that requires a lot of gold, so we'll see. And then I have a backup leader who actually was my original leader before just getting beat into the dirt over and over again. And then I picked up a replacement who's now my main leader. Doing missions with him seemed like no problem. Doing missions with this guy, yeah, big problem. So this is a little bit kind of a weak setup because I have so many lower level guys, people who aren't level 10. I could pull out somebody and throw in my additional level 10 warrior. But I'm trying to level up guys. That's kind of my priority at the moment. So I'm thinking I'll probably stick with this and see what kind of missions are available. You can do 1 mission a day, basically, which will get you a tiny bit of gold if you're lucky, items that you can sell, but they really aren't worth very much, and wordstone. So really the main way you're going to get any gold in this game at all is just wordstone. Anything else really doesn't do you much good at all. So this is the campaign screen. So this is where you do missions, sort of kind of a map of the city. Each of the icons is a mission. There are story missions, sort of, that you can do. It's more kind of sporadic, long, involved, difficult missions, and this is the next one for me, the first part of Act 2, and it kind of has a recommended rating. And you can see in the upper left-hand where it's 9 unlucky few human mercenaries, rating 2603. So I'm at 2603 with this setup, but if I change out my guys, then that can change and increase or decrease. So it's sort of recommended for that. But these are really long and involved and sometimes have weird puzzles, and one of them was in a library with chaos had overrun it, and there were all these weird teleporting pads. I went to different other teleporting places, and you had to find a bunch of stuff that was hidden. It took forever to do, so I'm not going to stream any of these. They're just almost excruciating to get through. So here we have a mission, hard there. So that's sort of my comparison of my rating to the enemy's rating. So it's like normal, hard, brutal, and deadly, I think, are the increases, so 1 step up. Brutal there, and this is a hard. So you can see at this point, with the kind of the setup I'm at, I'm often running into, I'm lucky to have some hards out there as options. You can spend some gold to get some additional options. I think I will just to see, since I don't even have any normal things available at all. It's also hard, so everything's probably going to be hard for me at this point. Definitely don't want to do brutal with these guys. The kind of crystal symbols, the amount of wordstone, so we'll say like poor or average or good, and then the chest is sort of other items and things you can find, so poor, average, good. So each mission will be a little bit different. And then there's different kind of scenarios. So for example, this is both warbands are scattered randomly around the area, scared by something. I did one of these once where both of us were scattered, and my opponents were scattered right on top of me, and they got to go first and killed like half my warband before I even got a chance to do anything. So anything like that where you're random is kind of bad. If one side's random and the other one isn't, it randomly chooses which warband is which. So you don't know going in if you're the one who's set up where you want and the other one's random, or the other way around. So I'm kind of stuck with a hard. So my options are a warband deploys tightly around its wagon while the others scattered randomly around the area, or one warband deploys tightly around its wagon while the others scattered randomly around the area, scared by something. Yeah, pretty much. The only difference between these two is kind of the secondary objectives. So Wordstone Rush is where you want to grab a bunch of wordstone and get it back to your cart. It gives you some extra experience. And this will crush their will is basically just beat up your opponent. So I'm not super confident with this, actually, since they're both going to be hard. I'm not liking that too much. What I may do is go ahead and pull somebody out and put my level 10 warrior in. I'd really like to level this guy up, but I'm kind of afraid having him in here, he's just going to get killed. So since I don't have any good options, what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and swap him out for my level 10 warrior. Once you're level 10, it doesn't really help. There's nothing you can do. There's no advancements you can get. But that will upgrade my rating now to 2738. Still saying hard. Yeah, so comparatively, I'm still a little bit behind. We've got average poor here and average good, so I guess we'll go with this one.
A ghastly manifestation frightened your warband and scattered them in the ruins. They soon recover from their fright, but before the warriors can regroup, an enemy warband arrives and deploys near their wagon.
So there you can see the objective, make the enemy warband rout or put them all out of action. From the warband and secure it in my chest. So that would be from their cart. You kind of have a cart, which is sort of like a HQ in a way, sort of, where you can drop off things that you don't want to carry anymore with your guys. Your enemies can, if they get to it, take stuff out of it once you put things in it. But it's just a way to kind of offload some extra stuff. And you also have an idol there, which can be taken by the enemy for these kind of missions. And unfortunately, I'm the one scattered randomly around. My opponent's only got a couple people who are going to go first. At the top is kind of the order there. I already hear movement, which I don't like. What is that? What the heck is that? There's supposed to be a hanging dude in a cage, but he's kind of being blown sideways or something. That's kind of crazy. I'm hearing a lot of moving around, which I don't like. Before you've given your guys any actions, they basically can't do anything. When you take actions, you can put your guys in certain stances, which will let them dodge attacks or take overwatch shots at things. You can see something sticking out of the building, but I think that's my mage up there, actually. So this is sort of the way you're controlling guys. It's not like a separate third-person camera. You can move around wherever you want. So sometimes it is kind of hard to figure out where things are and how to get to them. But there is an overhead map you can switch to. And if you spot enemies, they'll show up on here as well. Even if you only spotted them for a minute and then they go in a building and you've lost track of them, it'll put them on where you last saw them with a little question mark. So here we have the little crystal symbol is Wordstone, and this, which looks like a dagger and a heart to me, is basically chests or bags or other kind of random items. This is the enemy cart, so I think that's Mercenaries. Pretty sure that's Mercenaries. And then my cart is somewhere around here, down here. Yeah, so I'm not scattered too badly. I just want to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're all really pretty much in the same central area, so that's not too bad. We're not all over the place away from each other. Being alone in this game and away from your allies is pretty much guaranteed death. If the enemy sees any of your guys, they're going to swarm them. If you're playing as other people, I kind of would imagine that maybe there might be a bit more sort of sending off little groups to do different things. But against the AI, it seems like he's faster than I am. I don't know why. It could be skill choices and things. And they just sort of converge on the first person they see and just swarm you and slaughter you. Upper left, you can see there's a blue bar and a red bar. So the blue bar is sort of my leadership. So my current leadership is maxed at 209. Down below, there's a line and a number. So each one of my guys is worth a certain amount of leadership points. If they get killed, the bar drops. Basically, not killed, but taken out of action. If the bar drops below that line, I have to start making leadership checks. And if I fail, my guys run away. So basically losing the mission. So I actually have quite a bit more leadership than my opponent, even though they have a higher rating. So they're probably going to be kind of dangerous. So his cart is pretty much north-ish of me. Most likely he'll be coming down into this area or possibly out this side. So I may want to just move up to get sight down this alleyway. At least that's sort of the plan. The blue icons down underneath my name and health bar are for movement or reloading or certain actions, and the red is for attacking. You can kind of see behind me there's these little glowing spots, and that's where each point was used for movement. And if you wander around and kind of look at stuff and don't spot any enemies, you can actually backtrack and get your points back, which is really helpful because a lot of times it's really confusing to figure out how to get to certain places, especially on upper stories of buildings. Some of them you can only climb or take stairs from very certain places. Just trying to get an angle down as much road as I can here. I can move a bit forward more, but I really don't want to do that to separate myself. Actually, I may move back a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just plan on putting myself in Overwatch here, which only gives me one free shot, no matter how many points you had. But we'll kind of keep an eye down that direction for enemies approaching from there. So this is my mage, who I haven't actually used that much. So you can bring up kind of something to look at other skills and stuff. So he's got a skill. I have to actually activate this, increase casting chance of the next spell. And I've got for spells Blinding Light, which just kind of blinds people next to me, and then Lightning Strike, which will attack stuff at range. But it's not a huge amount of damage. The more level up I get and the higher my intelligence is, the more damage that'll do. So as you level up, yeah, it'll be better. So I can actually climb up here. This sort of blue circle with the arrows up is a climbing spot. Probably will take me towards the chest that's there. So yeah, we'll take a look, I guess. Actually, let me make sure it's not in here. Okay, I don't see anything. So yeah, I can kind of look around and then move back, get my points back. Climbing is a percentage chance. That's a failure, and you hurt yourself if you fail. Climbing up and jumping down are both the same, but if you fail jumping down, you just get hurt and you jump down. If you fail climbing up, then you have to keep doing the roll over and over and over again, and if you're not very good at that chance, then it's going to be a bit of a problem for you. So actually the chest is to my left somewhere. So I have no idea where that chest would be. It's probably on the ground floor then, I guess. It's that crazy thing Actually, it doesn't even look like it's attached to the tree correctly, so some kind of physics issue going on there. I think that's an enemy down there in the courtyard. Yes, we've got an enemy archer already. So in his one turn, he got from somewhere around here and ran right down here. So now he can see me up here. And I don't think I'm in range. Yeah, so you see the different things that I can do. I can cycle through different options and kind of what their costs are. But even though he's not that far away, he's still too far away for me to actually hit him with lightning. Don't see anybody else. So what I'm actually going to do is just kind of go back inside and hide. And actually the chest is probably across there. So that's sort of jumping across, and then there's another room. It's not a great chance, and if I fail, I fall and get hurt. Yeah, you're not going to do anything else this turn, so I'm sure. And there's nothing there. Okay. Yeah, the chest must be on the ground floor somewhere then. So I guess I'll just kind of hang out in here for now. It's not going to let me jump back again, it looks like. Or will it? There we go. See, I'm too far away to do anything, so I'm just going to hang out here and not do anything for my turn. If somebody moves closer, then next turn I can maybe go out there and do something. Kind of pointless going in ambush stance there. No one's going to come up next to me. So there you can see some wordstone on the ground. So the one on the left is the one of the shards that are worth 5, and the one on the right is a cluster that's worth 15, and there's also a bag right here with some stuff in it. So I just want to check my orientation for where I'm at, where the enemy is at. Where is my guy? Okay, here he is. So it'll actually show you this little icon there showing which direction you're facing for the current guy. Kind of helps when it's sort of confusing sometimes to figure out where things are. Okay, we'll take the shard. There's a chance when you pick up wordstone something bad happens. So that was increased cost for spellcasting. So it's sort of random. It can do a lot of different strange things. So it's not going to let me across here. Yeah, it's things like this sometimes where it looks like I should be able to get through here, but it's not letting me for some reason. I'm not sure if that's just I'm not in the exact right position, or if you just can't move through there, which seems kind of weird. So I can't pick that stuff up. I've got stairs down there, it looks like. I've got a nice walkway here. Unfortunately, this is kind of away from where I spotted the enemy. But I may leave him back here just for now. Keeping an eye this direction. Next turn, if we don't see anybody coming down this road, we'll probably shift over the other way. He still has more guys to move. With them being a bit tougher than me, I want to whittle them down as much as possible before I end up in combat with them. Or if I can isolate some guys and gang up on them. He's also over here. I'm going to definitely move him over to try to get some kind of view the other direction. I'd like to get him up somewhere if possible. You can see I'm kind of looking around for places to move him. So I'm already now have the option to take a shot. Oh, I can actually see a couple guys now. So we've got a magic user as well over there. So I have a couple choices here. Go for the archer, who's currently using a dagger or something it looks like, or the magic user. Both have about the same toughness. Less damage for this guy, it looks like, because of armor. So I'll go for the more damage. Oh, we got a crit. So the crits always are kind of the yellow color like that. So that was nice. What I'll do is move back here, so next turn I can climb up, get a little bit safer position. Can't believe he's already this close to my cart, pretty much right on top of me from the get-go. Bring my leader out. The pistols are kind of short range and I'm not super great with them, but maybe do a little bit of damage. I could just kind of hang back and reload and take shots, or I could go ahead and switch out for my melee weapons, which is what I'm much better at. We've got other guys around, so I may just take some shots here instead, to start with anyway. 70% isn't bad. Each time you do an action, it is going to cost more, so you can see my reload was 2 the first time, now 3. I'm just going to kind of get out in a position where I can see a little bit better. I don't mind if he gets engaged in combat. Gustav, where are you? Okay. So one of Gustav's skills is increased range for ambushing. So if I go into ambush, it's actually much further than normal. The red is, if anyone enters that area, I'm going to charge them and attack them. So sometimes I can kind of surprise enemies. Try to position myself in a way where I can charge down a couple different ways. A bit further than my enemy might expect. But I don't want to get too far away from my other guys here yet. Kind of keeping in mind that the enemy has a higher rating than me, so they're probably all much better, higher level, better equipment, all that kind of stuff, possibly. Stairs up from here, that's not going to help me. I want to get down. Okay, there's a couple positions I can jump down from. My rifleman is underneath the other one there, I think. Wearing heavy armor decreases your success chance for climbing and jumping and all that kind of stuff. So anyone in heavy armor is not very mobile. Reduces your range and movement and all kinds of things as well. So kind of putting him there just to kind of protect my rifleman. Worried about whether there might be a way he can come down this way and get out of sight and then infiltrate through the buildings and come at me. So you can see if I stand inside the circle around one of my guys, I can't actually give them orders. So you have to be out of the order radius there to actually give someone an order. So you have to be kind of careful about positioning, especially if you're ganging up on enemies and stuff. And here I'm just going to go Web of Steel, which lets me parry a couple attacks that come at me, so in case they want to charge down at me. Most likely I'm probably looking at spells coming my way here. I don't want to go rushing off towards the enemy yet, because there might be a bunch of other guys right around the corner that I can't see. I'm hoping not. I'd like to take out those guys isolated, but if I go jumping for them, I might end up on the hook, just getting surrounded and destroyed. The AI is usually pretty aggressive, though. I've got a chest right here. Sure, let's check it. Nice. Purple is kind of the highest level thing I've seen so far. Unknown formula, so I won't know what this is. This is kind of something that will give you a rune that you can put on something later. So definitely want to take that. There's blue and purple level runes and items, but I don't think I've actually found any purple runes yet. Unfortunately, I have to go out this way is the closest. He also has increased ambush range. I'm just going to set him up here as far as he can move. And the stuff around, I just don't know exactly how to get to it. I think, yeah, these are the ones I saw earlier. Go ahead and try to grab these with him.
A new round has started.
He's actually coming towards me, which is a little surprising. Oh, there's an ambush. So I don't think he was expecting Gustav to come from that far away to come hit him. And if you have red points left over, you can do counterattacks if you're attacked. But he's not going to have enough to counterattack again. Yeah, not much. That's probably going to decrease accuracy for weapons and ranged stuff, would be my guess. Being kind of crazily aggressive here, running just a couple guys into a whole bunch of my guys. I mean, he could have seen 3 or so people there before, but it's kind of surprising he would move that aggressively in. Still nothing this direction. I can get right over there from there. But where did I start? There. Let's see if the chest or something is on. There we go. Just check and see what we got. Yeah. Kind of crummy potions. I guess I'll take this for now. I'm not going to take both. There's much better things. Wordstone's always much better to grab than potions. I might be able to see something from here. I would think I would be able to. There we go. So with an aim shot, I can just see the one. Might as well. If someone's in combat, it decreases your chance to hit them by quite a bit. So I'm just going to take the 66 because I'll be able to reload and take another shot. So it's kind of 186 or 266s. RNG will mess with you in this game, though. I've missed a lot of 95% shots, which is kind of the maximum. It doesn't ever really go above 95 for attacks and things. And I'll just kind of hang out in here, I guess. So maybe now I'll be able to actually get a spell off. Yeah. It's kind of hard to see. I can do blinding light. But I don't want to have it affect my own people. So from here, I'm able to see a little bit better. Maybe. Yeah, it's really hard to see for placement sometimes. So I think that's just going to hit the two that I want. And that was blinding light. So that's reduced by 5%. Melee, hit, ranged hit, dodge, parry, perception, and spellcasting. Not stackable, so doing it multiple times doesn't actually do anything. And then the only one I can hit is the mage with the lightning. The other guy's too far away. Go ahead and concentrate. So now I have a 95% chance. The potential Tzeentch's Curse, 31%. That's the chance of something randomly bad happening to me when I cast something. We'll go for it. So he succeeded at his magical resistance, so it didn't do anything. So I'll just hang out here, go into a dodge stance. I can dodge attacks. You can't dodge anything ranged, though, so it doesn't make too much difference. But if any ranged people show up and start shooting, I might hop back and forth between cover and being out here. More guys showing up. And from here I can see nothing with my archer. Although I can see Wardstone back in that back alley. Go grab some Wardstone and head the back way over to provide some assistance. So that was actually a beneficial warp effect. It's not showing there. What did it do? Increased melee and range resistance. There it is. So my pack's full. I can't pick up any more with this guy, but I could go drop off the stuff I have in my cart and then come back and grab some more. But I want to kind of move him up down this alley so he can take some shots from behind the fighting. Having a height advantage does increase your chance for ranged attacks, but it also helps you stay out of danger a little bit. So what do I have? Good shot on the archer who's using a dagger. I've got a decent shot on the warrior in the back, and decent shot on the magic user. I'm not too concerned about him. I've got him pretty much swarmed. I'm going to go for pounding the archer here. So I could go ahead and pound on the archer, but I've got, or the magic user, but I've got other guys who can do that. What I want to do is go after the archer with him, if I can get through here, which it looks like I can't. There's a red circle around the enemy. If I end up touching that, I'm engaged with them and be kind of stuck. There's a lot of times when you can't get by your own guys, it's sort of considering like they're taking up a bit more space than you can see. So I have to go all the way around. So I triggered off his ambush before I could get a charge in. But that's fine. He's nearly dead. Wow. That's bad for me. On my turn, I'll be able to get up. I'll just lose some of my ability to take actions. But yeah, otherwise, if that hadn't happened, I would have killed that guy. I've been in a good position to block any further advances. So yeah, that's a little bit of a downer. Also, having him critted means that my leader will be out of commission for a couple days. And without my leader, I don't really trust my backup leader for other missions, so I may just do a bunch of training with other people. So here we're just going to go into parry mode. I'll take a look on the map and see if I can see anybody else. Sometimes you can't see them when you're looking at your guys directly, but when you look at the map, you can see things. So there is an archer back there in the building somewhere as well. Not seeing anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and dispatch this guy, I think. And then we'll check in for any stuff. When you down somebody, the first turn you can take any of their items. After a turn has gone by, they're sort of, it's almost treating it like their friends drug their body off or something. So the only thing that's left is kind of an item marking them, something that they own, which you use for certain secondary mission objectives, or any wordstone they were carrying. So initially, if you want to get the actual items they have, you have to search them immediately when you drop them, pretty much. And again, I'm not going to go rushing down that way. I know he's got an archer in a good position. There might be more guys there, so we'll deal with these closer guys first. That isolated themselves before we worry about anything else. Not quite enough damage to kill this guy off. Might be able to get him into combat to finish him off. Just so I don't have to worry about him actually doing anything to cause me any problems on his turn. I'd prefer to have lower level people take them out, because you get experience advantages for taking out enemies. But not taking damage is a bit more important. He had a whole bunch of stuff. On damage dealt, minus 20 poison resistance. That's not super useful for these guys, but I will take these clusters, that's for sure. So that's 30 wordstone just there by itself, those two clusters. And apparently no effect. him in an ambush. Kind of being very careful here because I know that the enemy had a much higher rating than me. You can grab some wordstone. If everything goes well, I should be getting a lot of wordstone this mission. So that's a lot of extra money for me. Just going to take a quick look on the side. I don't see anything.
A new round has started.
So doing pretty well so far, taking out 2 guys. Not much damage to me at all. But typically I don't have much problem with other mercenary bands or Skaven. Chaos is a little tougher, and then there's Sisters of Sigmar are a little tougher. Maybe Witch Hunters after that, mostly for their big guy that they have. But the undead are by far the most dangerous. Like, to the point where they seem quite unbalanced to me. Let's see if I can get any sight here. I can see them, but it's sort of a distance issue. The higher your ballistic rating, the further away you can kind of spot enemies to take shots at them and stuff. Fortunately, you can't overwatch spells. Should be kind of cool if you could, but oh well. I wonder how far away I can do this. Yeah, not far enough away to target anybody. So he's just going to hang out up here for a bit. Nothing you can really do until people come closer. So you're going to see, like, there's ways through the buildings, so it's possible he could actually be sneaking people down here and then coming up behind me. And that would kind of suck. I don't have any indication that that's happening, but it certainly could be. He's got no problem shooting people from here. Just the one, though. He can't shoot the guy further back. I've spotted the enemy leader somewhere. So I'll take a look at the map and see where that was. Oh, no, there he is. He's running right towards us. Overwatch shot missing. I'm going for the wordstone. He might just run back after grabbing that. I'll see if I can lure his leader towards me. He ambushed me from quite far away. He must have the same ability that some of my guys do with the increased ambush range. But that's actually good because it brings him closer to me and further away from his friends. Leader versus leader battle. I'm going to go ahead and do the staggering blow reduces his initiative, so we should go a little bit later next turn. And then I'm in a stance where I can parry up to 3 times with my leader. So the first 3 attacks I should parry, you would think, anyway. Another missed Overwatch shot. Where is he going? I don't like that. Ganging up on my leader. That's 1 parry. Okay, I think I'm going to have Gustav go look for the guy who disappeared over here. That's not anything I can see there. So we'll backtrack and head down this way. So if my ambush range, if he comes anywhere around this corner, I'll be able to charge him down, tie him up. So from here, I could either double up on the leader, or I could move all the way around and double up on the magic user in the back. Which I think we'll go for the magic user, and have somebody else jump on the leader as well. He can parry a couple times with Web of Steel, not 3. My leader's the only one I think who's got the 3 parry. And we'll go ahead and use him on the leader as well. He's a little bit weaker. I think he's only a level 6. But fairly decent in combat. He can parry a couple times, so hopefully he can stand up to at least a turn or so of abuse. Preferably more, but, you know, make do with what you got. Another one. He's probably trying to slip by through the buildings down there, come up behind me. So Leopold might be dealing with that. And try to stay out of sight. This is my weakest guy, so I'm kind of sort of holding him off for reserve. Sort of protecting my cart with it. With him. Just in case anything happens.
A new round has started.
I'm not in range of any lightnings here. I can blind him. But it looks like, well, I could blind a bunch of my own guys. That's kind of counterproductive. And targeting some of these things can be a little finicky. I'll just blind him. It's not much of a decrease. It's only a 5% decrease to everything, but it's what I can do. It doesn't stack, so there's not much point in doing any more. I think he's just not quite powerful enough to really be able to do anything super useful. So I can shoot into combat here, not a really good percentage. I can shoot the archer in the back, so I think we'll do that. Can actually do quite a bit of damage with a whole lot of shots. Especially if they all hit. It's like half his health gone right there. $59. So if I do an aimed shot, that'll take it to 79. So yeah, we'll help out the combat here a little bit. Or not. Okay, shot him in the foot. Alright, who can I shoot? Got the archer in the back that I shot up a bit with the other guy. And that is my only target, it looks like. The other guys are just around the corner of the building. Yeah, sure. Where the heck did he come from? I think it's a guy I went looking for but didn't spot. So since I'm engaged with both, I can kind of choose who I want to attack. The different percentages have to do with the opponent's kind of ratings and stuff. You can kind of see some of the affected stats and things there. That I do have a special attack I can use on magic users called Jaw Strike. So I'm actually going to do that first. So it reduces his chance of casting stuff and increases the chance of having bad things happen if you cast. And I'm going to whittle him down, but I don't actually want to kill him with my leader. Oh, no problem with that. I'm not going to kill him. I want to get my other guys who have can actually get some experience by taking out people to be the ones to finish them off. Good parry and counter. Get another parry and counter here. Parry failed. Wow. Doesn't happen too often. Okay, not seeing anything that way. So he went up the building. And he's heading towards my magic user, actually. Tell exactly where he's at there. He cast a spell and had something negative happen, but it wasn't anything too bad. Probably going to get countered here. No? Yeah. He went into guard stance, which might increase his armor absorption or something instead of actually parrying. Not 100% sure. So you can finish off the magic user. Got a rune. Let's see if we can loot him. Yeah, nothing of interest though. And I'm actually going to go for the Youngblood here. I've already got two guys on his leader, so hopefully this guy will be okay out here. Nobody else will come swarming him. That was a trap he triggered. So there are kind of random traps sort of hidden. Lots of different things can be traps. A lot of things look like traps, but you don't necessarily know if they are traps until you step on them. He caused fear. I'm not sure if that was because of a magic ability he had active or if that's an innate thing. Probably the magical thing that he just cast. The spell. Yeah, that's the word for it. The spell. So the magic user I was concerned about, that went this way, came back around, so I don't need him guarding that direction. I can't get in a position here where I can do an attack. Kind of looking at the circles on the ground, you have to be outside of one of your own guys' circles to be engaged with someone. I can't move that far anyway, but for right now, just go in the ambush stance, but kind of looking at what I want to do next turn, kind of depend on who's still standing by next turn. Just going to take a look down the alleyway here. I'm going to set up an ambush on the door here just in case it tries to come out this way. I'm not sure if that was the way he went or if he was going upstairs towards my magic user.
A new round has started.
He's getting out of combat and then charging. Well, as a fear test, must have been some kind of skill where if he charges, your opponent has to make a fear check. Here, I could probably just kill this guy, just shooting him the amount of damage I'm doing to him. Not sure about running over there to check the body, though. There's too many other people unaccounted for running around. We got a crit on him right as he went down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I kind of know where everybody is. But there is an archer and a warrior back there, so if I go over to check, I might get jumped. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of hang out and be on Overwatch. Trying to play it safe. I don't think I'm going to have any targets here. Everybody's too far away for my lightning. I even took a skill with this guy that increased the range of his magical abilities, and still, it's like not that far. It's too far away. So I'm going to take a look in here. I don't see the warrior down there. If you block one of these points where some people can climb up or down, they can't actually climb up or down. So I think that was the access point where you climbed up. So if I'm blocking it, he won't be able to climb up and attack me from there. Theoretically. $84 or $53. I guess we'll go with the 84. Perception lets you spot traps, but also kind of people hidden or highlights things. So it even highlights stuff through walls. So you can see the chest there. The range isn't super great, but I just thought I would do that just to kind of illustrate the point, what's kind of around. It'll highlight traps and things. And when it's in effect, it decreases your damage from traps also. And if you do it, you can actually run around and it spots things. It's not just where you use it. It's active for the rest of the turn, no matter where you move. He insulted my leader. You are a cur and a vagabond, sir. Probably something worse than that, I would guess. Got a nice shot here. Anything to soften him up. The item I'm using has a rune on it that saw the mark of enfeeblement popped up. It was something that reduces the amount of the red offense points that someone has if you hit them. There's a chance when you hit them that it will take away one of them. So it decreases the chance of getting countered and that kind of stuff. I'm doing the same staggering blow, so that'll reduce his initiative, so it should be a little slower next turn. And I didn't get the ambush off because of the angle there, it looks like. Okay, he's engaged with a few people. It'd be nice to take the leader out. So that's what we're going to try for anyway. If I can hit him. And do enough damage. Chance. Nope. Failed my fear test. So something he's got causes fear, which is kind of strange. You can see minus 10% immediately hit chance, but that's not affecting much, so it's still 95%. There we go. Pummel. It's the battle of the one-legged guys. I just noticed. So I've got one leg, he's got one leg. Spell failed. See if I can get around. Excellent. I can whittle this guy down, but I don't want to kill him with this guy as well. This is a level 10 warrior. Hurt him, but don't kill him with this guy, preferably. Didn't have enough points there to do the Web of Steel for a couple parries, just one. So I'm just going to cut through the building. Oh, I can't go through the building. Never mind. So again, you can see you can kind of look around a little bit and then move back, as long as you didn't spot anybody or engage in any actions.
A new round has started.
Actually, it's going a lot better than I expected, considering it was a hard mission coming into this. But there seems to be a huge difference between like hard against Skaven or Mercenaries, or hard mission against Undead. Got a vision on somebody. Oh, that guy. Okay, sure. Yeah, we can help out the combat here a bit. Whoa, that was not a great place to take an arrow. Again, I can take more 60% or just one aim, so I'll take more 60s just to see. That one looks right in his eye, it looks like. I do kind of think it's funny how a lot of the arrows and stuff stay in the people after you've shot them for quite a while. Sometimes you'll see people running around and they have 6, 7, 8, 9 arrows sticking out of them. It's just kind of funny. Just move back. I think I can see him for lightning here. Yeah. So concentrate, make it a higher percentage chance. $27 damage. Not too bad. Let's do that again. Dumbfounded. What is dumbfounded? Afflicted by stupidity. Okay. That basically just means you have to take like an intelligence check before your turn, and if you fail it, you can't do anything. So people who've played like I haven't, I'm not up on the more recent versions of 40k and Warhammer Fantasy, but if you are, or older versions, or Necromunda, or things like that, there's a lot of that psychology stuff, the fear and terror and stupidity and all that is very much in the game. He's got a couple options here. Might be able to kill him. For experience, it only counts who kind of landed the killing blow on someone. So it basically means an extra experience point for him. Oh, they failed their route test. I figured with their leader still alive, they probably wouldn't fail. Yeah, so I only took out 5 of his guys, but I lost nobody. Shows you kind of MVP. So MVP gets extra experience, but that's my leader who's already maxed out. His MVP is his leader. On the left, we've got sort of rewards. So you get kind of random rewards from the battlefield depending on what's out there. I think it's just kind of totally random rolls. So 5 items, no clusters, 2 shards, and 2 of whatever the little tiny ones are. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then underneath that is what I picked up. So I picked up 3 shards and 3 clusters. So I've got that in addition.
A warrior needs a bit of luck and a lot of skill to win a battle. But most of all, he needs strategy. You have managed to find the winning mixture. Now just be careful not to lose it.
Yeah, so if you take a crit, which is actually something I discovered doing a stream, someone telling me that if you take a crit, you are out for a couple days. I wasn't sure if it was you just took a certain amount of damage or something happened. It seemed almost random. But if a crit hits against you, you're out for 2 days. Otherwise, you wouldn't be out unless you take an injury. So like you went down during a combat, and then it'll do kind of an injury roll at the end of the mission. So it's skipping over my level 10 guys. Not any points. So yeah, 2 for a mission, 1 for underdogs. Everyone gets an extra experience point because we were lower than the opponent. And he took out 2 people, so that's 2 experience. He's going to get a martial point. So what you kind of do is get advances in either physical, mental, or martial, and you'll get 1 point, and you can assign however you want within this when you level up. And then these will affect your other stats. So it's a little bit more complicated than the typical Games Workshop. Movement skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, attacks, that kind of thing. A little bit different. Okay, mental doesn't help me a huge amount. Mental doesn't help me a huge amount. Alertness is sort of initiative. Intelligence is spells and resistance to stun. And then leadership is any kind of leadership checks for fear, terror, being alone, that kind of stuff. Strength, toughness, pretty straightforward. Agility is your ability to dodge attacks. And then weapon skill, ballistic skill, pretty standard. Accuracy is your crit percentage. And crit damage, basically. Yeah, for him, mental's okay because it's going to increase his damage with spells and stuff. So that's probably what I'll do with him. You get overall experience for your Warband as well. I'm assuming it maxes out at 10, just like your guys do. It just kind of affects who you can recruit and how many spots you have for reserves and that kind of stuff. So this will be sort of the random items we found. I know we picked up heavy armor and 1 formula with a person, so we also got purple armor and some other random stuff. So after the fight, you've got to pay for medical costs. So that's first what pops up. You can pay all of them combined if you click on here and just paying treatments for everybody. Or you can look and pay individually if you want. So you can see the Red Cross, so injury, going to cost 4 gold. And then the rest of the money is sort of upkeep. So if you use someone for a mission, you've got to actually pay them. If you don't take them on a mission, you don't have to pay them, though. So we'll just pay treatment. Pay everybody's upkeep. And we'll just look at any kind of level ups, what I want to do here. So yeah, intelligence, spell damage, magic resistance, stun resistance, chance to pass mental conditions, so stupidity, paranoia, deranged. Alertness, initiative, range resistance, perception checks, leadership, morale value, so if you die or get taken out during a combat, how much you're worth, and then chance to pass tests, and you can actually see the percentages and all that stuff down here, so fear resistance, terror, being all alone in a combat, outnumbered, magic resistance, range resistance, stun, all that kind of stuff. So we'll just throw more intelligence on there. There's some skills that do have minimum requirements. So he does have a skill that I wanted to give him that requires a minimum of a 9 intelligence, so I might do that. It doesn't help too much otherwise, except that it does increase your stun resistance. Alertness is kind of tempting, so maybe I'll do that instead. He's getting to the point where he's not going to have a whole lot more level ups before maxing out. I think it was the second level of this, and it requires 9. So if I want to give him the next step of this, which increases dodge and parry by 10%, then it requires 2 extra intelligence. But then again, 2 extra alertness would increase his... actually, I'm thinking agility and alertness, yeah. So Okay, we'll do intelligence. Get closer. Confusing myself as I speak. So like here, he's already maxed out his weapon skill, so he's kind of becoming kind of a crit specialist. So he's up to 17% chance to crit every time he hits somebody, which is pretty cool. Don't get anything. Guess we'll go leadership here. I don't kind of expect them to end up in combat, but it does happen sometimes. So that's probably about it for today. I'm going to look at maybe doing some skill training and stuff because my leader is out for a few days. So I'll probably burn through a couple days of time. I'm not sure when I'll do another mission of this to put up. But it's kind of something I've been playing a lot lately, so I kind of figure I might as well stream it. Why not? I do have some other games kind of like this that I've been thinking about playing. Anything where you do a mission and guys level up and gain experience. But it's kind of hard for me to keep track of multiple ones at the same time when I'm also doing some other games. So I'm kind of sticking with this for now. I'm not sure how long I'll be playing this. I've already put quite a bit of time into the game, surprisingly. There's not really too much of a story. There's kind of the story missions you can do, but they do take a long time. So maybe when I burn through those, maybe I'll call the game done at that point. We'll see. But probably in the foreseeable future anyway, I'll be doing some more of these. But anyway, I do appreciate you watching and checking this out. If you're interested in other streams, I do have previous streams here on Twitch, and then I also have older streams up on my YouTube channel, which is also Disturbing Puppet. So a bunch of Blood Bowl 2 is on there, and some random other games, and earlier sections that I've posted from this playthrough of my Unlucky Few. So if you're interested in that, please check that out as well. But I do appreciate you coming by and watching with me. So hopefully I will see you next time. Thanks.